Okay, grab some popcorn. This is my favorite story that I'm about to tell you. One of the most fun things I've ever done in my career is creating $3 million in 3 months. And you might say, well, how the heck did you do that? I'm about to share that with you. So picture this. It's February of 2020. It's about a month before lockdowns, and I am in the gym lifting weights while I'm staring up at the TV screen. The short story is that basically I was looking at what was going on with COVID and thinking, wow, the company that I'm working for right now should really be doing this research on how consumers are changing their spending habits due to COVID, because I guarantee so many companies would want to know what they should be doing right now because everybody doesn't know what to do. Funny story is that several years before, in 2006, I had actually done a thesis on a mortality salient condition, meaning when people are reminded of of their imminent future not necessarily being the same as it was before, perhaps they might not make it, they tend to make different behavioral changes. And that's exactly what we saw during the pandemic. We can get into all the details for as much as you'd like to, but essentially what happened is I was able to run upstairs after seeing this information, tell the CEO, hey, our value proposition, our differentiator is the fact that we can do real time research, which nobody else can do. We should probably jump on this really quickly and go start tracking behavior. So, what did we do? We immediately started to take a look at is Catherine's hypothesis correct that people are changing their behaviors and their habits? Well, I kind of already knew that it was because I was a mom to a 2 year old and a 4 year old at the time. And I was at Costco seeing that everything was kind of flying off the shelves. But let's go ahead and prove it. We did. We tracked a 39% decline in airport traffic to international airports all over the world. That indicated that people were concerned enough about the virus to change their normal habits. And it was a year over year change. We could track it. Okay, what next? Well, you heard me talk about Costco. I had already seen for myself what was going on with consumers stocking up on certain items. And you're probably laughing inside right now because all remember what happened with toilet paper and everything else. But I was seeing that in real time. And so, sure enough, my hypothesis was we're seeing people stockpiling. That's exactly what we proved. Between a 25 to 32% increase in foot traffic to big box retailers specifically. These really large places you could get really large amounts of product from. That skyrocketed. So, what did it tell us? Well, it told us exactly what consumers were doing, why they were doing it, and how they were doing it. And it launched the most successful campaign that the company used for the next 4 years to massively drive people in through the door. Now, remember, during this time, all events are shut down, right? And so, this was a company whose channel, we want to talk about growth here, right? Their growth channel was events. And all of a sudden, you couldn't meet in person. So, how am I supposed to drive the ability to hit all of our forecasted targets with all of a sudden a channel is completely gone? As soon as we start releasing this research, that's when the country starts getting shut down. So now things start getting complicated and difficult. Well, I decided to try email. I've always done email. I like email, and I'm a very conversational writer. So I started kind of coming up with a few emails to share this real-time research, and it hit. It hit big. We started getting a 48% open rate and an 11% click-through rate on our emails regularly. Just for industry standards for you, it's a 15 to 20% normal that we see. So it was more than 4x what we were normally seeing for open rates. And a click-through rate that is good is between 2 and 3%. So when we talk 11% for click-through rate, again, like a 4 or 5x, right? These are huge, huge numbers. So with the CEO's backing, I immediately went to sending out 4 emails per week. Now, this was an account-based targeting approach, so we were very careful about the way that we actually did the emails. For example, I would make sure that no one person would receive more than 3 emails per week. But remember, the content was sexy. It was something that nobody else could give. No one else had this ability to do real-time research. So every single week, I was actually running this new research, creating a new opportunity for what the storyline was going to be based on the targeted accounts that we knew we wanted to hit, specifically in the verticals we knew we wanted to hit. Maybe one of my most fun pieces that I wrote during this time was an open letter to Pepperidge Farms. And I was talking about being able to create a mashup, a mix-up in one big box for moms and kids. Bit Milanos for the moms, goldfish for the crackers for the kids, and putting those together. And we actually found that 73% of people wanted to try the product. So it was a really fun way to be able to reach out to The company that we wanted to do business with, Pepperidge Farms, was something that was actually not only hitting research they couldn't get any other way, but would be also interesting to any of their competitors as well. So, really great opportunity to use and leverage content and put it out in a unique and interesting way, all about the value proposition of what the company could do, and based off of real time research and real time things that were happening. So, I want you to imagine what things in your business right now do you have access to that will disrupt your market? Some of these things are things that you can't control. We don't want to have a pandemic except maybe once every 100, 200 years. And heck, if we can prevent it, not have it at all. But the point is that the speed of insight and being able to provide valuable data makes an absolute opportunity for you to provide value to your audience. The idea here is to really make decisions that allow you to come with value to your audience. So think about this. Let's go through a few of them together. Decision number one, solve the real problem. So most companies were asking, how do we sell during COVID? We don't understand our customers anymore. And they needed real clarity. So we weren't offering research. We were saying, here's confident decision making in real time, something nobody else can get you. All of a sudden, during a pandemic where nothing is certain, you're willing to kind of take that bet. So for you, think about, what could we say or do that would allow people to be willing to take a bet on us? What kind of a condition could we create? Decision number two, move before certainty exists. Guys, this was scary. The CEO didn't want to do it. The COO didn't want to do it. They made me test the hypothesis before we went in, but there was real opportunity here, and that's okay. It's okay to try something in small movements first, and it paid big in dividends. The thing I would say to be careful about is, you're going to have people in your quiver, and this is a really important skill, who see where the opportunity lies. And I kind of call us canaries in a coal mine. That's actually my skill set. My strength is seeing opportunities before they are found by other people. As a natural born marketer, like, that's really what my job is. It's to see those opportunities and to help you create those investments. The thing to be careful about is, if you wait too long because you're scared, you can miss massive opportunities. Now, fortunately, we were able to move quickly enough that it worked, but be careful about deciding under too many constraints. You have to be willing to take risks. Growth is about risk taking. So while you want to spend requisite time thinking through things, don't take so long that you miss an opportunity. Let's talk about the third thing. You want to anchor the offer to urgency and relevance. So what I was providing was asking how consumers were feeling, what they were cutting and spending, what were they prioritizing. When your opportunity for growth aligns with urgency, that's when you see buying behaviors change. So think about your business and think, what is it that we have as an offer that we can give to people that is going to allow them to see urgency and relevance, provide them with value, and do so in a way where they have to act on it quickly. Not one of these like, oh, limited supply or limited time. Yeah, that works. But what truly can you provide a constraint around, and do so in a way that provides value, so that there's a true condition of fear of missing out? We know with the psychology of influence that FOMO is a real opportunity for growth if you have something valuable to share. Let's talk about number four, pricing for value and not for effort. So really being able to dig in and understand what their needs are is very, very valuable as you start to think about your product. We used this as an opportunity to say, hey, is there a better opportunity here? Right now we're doing project by project, but should we really be building out a software as a service platform that allows you to get real-time access to data all the time? So this entire situation actually created the basis for the future SaaS product that came from this company. And that was part of the reason why they had hired me, was I had experience in software as a service, but they hadn't yet figured out how you take a market research organization and create a product that has a software as a service component to it. And so we used the information that we were getting from people to say, hey, you know what? There's enough here that people are willing to pay for real time insights on a monthly or subscription type of basis. So don't be afraid to change your pricing, your placement, your promotion, your product, even based on actual real time information from your consumers when they're telling you what they want, why they want it, and how they want it. Here's the fifth thing. I would say let insight lead your execution. I love data for a reason. If I don't have access to data, I'm going to create a benchmark and I'm going to use it so that in a week or two, I will have data. You don't want to just do something for effort's sake. You want to really make sure that you are keeping in mind what is working, what is not working, and why. Because those defensible tactics will allow you to stand up in front of your board, will allow you to stand up in front of the company, will help you as a CEO be a visionary, or as a CMO be able to communicate to your visionaries, your board, and your CEO. So the research that I'm talking about, it didn't just sit in a deck, it drove everything. It became the strategy. When we did this, it became the campaign for the next 4 years. Now it changed, right? Because we didn't talk about the pandemic for 4 years. We moved on to secondary messaging, but we were going to constantly be led by real time insight into what was happening and why, because that's what our audience cared about. It changed the channel. We moved to email instead of events. And when events reopened, we had a whole new way to go to them that was based off of the information that we'd already done. It changed our product. We repositioned the product and turned into a SaaS company. And it changed executive conversations, right? It became really what the company was all about. It was this one value proposition. We do real-time research that allowed us to have this option, and it really changed the game. So when it comes to growth, don't be scared of making those big risks. Just document them. Follow up on them, see what's working, see what's not working, share the information as an organization, as a collective, and make the hard decisions. This is why it's important. Today, everything is changing. We're in 2026 and everything has shifted. 6 years after the pandemic, we now have AI. We have economic pressure like we've never had before. There is so much saturation inside of every single marketing channel. It has become harder to market than it has ever been before. I've been in this game 20 years, and I can tell you the same thing I tell my class at Cal State Long Beach, the MBA students that I teach. We have gone 360. We started with traditional marketing, we over-indexed into digital marketing, and now we're going all the way back to the beginning just to find things that work again. Buyer behavior, whether you're talking to consumers or business people, it's changed. At the end of the day, a business person is still a consumer. And so whether you do B2B or whether you do B2C, the tactics might be slightly different, but the principle is the same. Growth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from seeing things clearly. It comes from deciding early. It comes from acting decisively and from owning your outcome. That's what it takes to grow today. And it also takes a little bit of risk. So if you remember one thing from this story, here's what I would have you walk away with. Growth rewards the people who reduce uncertainty for others. When you help people see things clearly, they move faster. And when you can help them to spend confidently, they trust you. That's the real growth engine. And that's what allowed me in this story to help create $3 million in 3 months. We had Samsung, we had Frito-Lay, we had Disney all clamoring on the door, being able to ask for insights that they couldn't get from anybody else. When you provide value and you're willing to take a little bit of risk, a lot of growth lies on the other side of that door. So I hope this was helpful information. Use it to guide your own decisions as you look into growth this week for your own company. And if you need more help, I'm always here for you.